And then there's the movie Promised Land, where wicked oil companies rape the environment with fracking. That's the new extraction process that could lead America to energy independence. Environmentalists do not like it, but get this. Our next guest says he has spoken to some environmental officials who say they found no evidence that fracking contaminates groundwater. He is Deroy Murdock. He is a Fox News contributor, and he's here today. Deroy, welcome to the program.
Stuart, good to see you, and happy anniversary, by the way.
Thank you very much indeed. You've been a part of it, by the way.
Thank you.
You've spoken to environmental officials, and am I right in saying they have not come up with a single example where fracking elsewhere in the country has contaminated groundwater? Not one?
It's amazing. When I researched this article I did that is in the New York Post today and on nationalreview.com, usually when you have environmentalists or celebrities who come up with some environmental cause, they yell and scream on one side, and then you have regulators on the other saying, here's the evidence to back up what the celebrities say, and it's sort of a 1-2 punch. Yeah. In this case, you've got Matt Damon and Yoko Ono and others saying that fracking is the most dangerous thing ever. And you've got, on the other hand, the Environmental Protection Agency's Lisa Jackson saying that she cannot name one example of groundwater contamination caused by... She said this a couple of times before Congress under oath. The U.S. Geological Survey did research on fracking in Arkansas, and they looked at 127 wells just a couple weeks ago, and they said no evidence of groundwater contamination from fracking.
This movie, Promised Land, with Matt Damon, I think there are scenes in there where farms are burning,
yes,
for heaven's sake.
Farms on fire. There's a sort of a toy farm that the environmental activist takes before a bunch of kids in a classroom, covers it with household chemicals and sets it ablaze as if fracking causes farms to burn to a crisp, and all this terrible, scary stuff. And again, you've got the California oil and gas regulator, people in Texas, Ed Rendell, former Democratic National Chairman and former governor of Pennsylvania. He says that fracking works well, and he urges the state of New York to begin fracking.
That's the point.
So it's not just Republicans. These are Democrats who are saying that this thing is safe.
Because New York is sitting on top of huge deposits of natural gas,
correct,
the Marcellus Shale, right underneath New York State.
That's right.
And they've not yet given the okay for this. In fact, they may say, no, you can't do it. You can't frack. You can't get up these natural resources. That's a decision that's going to come up, what, within a month, I think, in New York?
Well, the New York State has been studying and studying and studying and studying this, and they may study it some more. And there are people in upstate New York who are unemployed. The area is just decimated. There's nothing going on there, and this would be a total economic godsend for jobs for them, tax revenue for the state.
So, Deroy, you make the judgment for me. The power of celebrities, the Yoko Onos of this world and the Matt Damons of this world, and the environmental extremists versus reality and the pot of gold. Yeah. Who's going to win in New York State? Who wins this one?
I would hope that that reality and the pot of gold would win, particularly since New York State needs the revenue.
They do, but come on, you give me your judgment.
When you've got a guy like Andrew Cuomo, Democrat, who I think wants to be president, I think he wants to keep the left happy to maintain that side of the base, and I'm sure he'll find a way either to kill this or study it some more, and then study it some more, and then more, and then once again study it a little bit more.
But they'd be walking away from billions and billions a year in
billions,
revenue.
and this is money that could be used to shore up defenses against the next hurricane that may come in and destroy other parts of New York City. Maybe we could put in some sort of seawalls or something like this, pay for it that way. That would be a brilliant idea. Jobs is job creation, and also this is natural gas that would help us reduce our dependency on oil and energy from a region like Algeria, where you saw, and in the Middle East, where just this weekend we had an American killed in this hostage-taking disaster.
It reminds me of California. I mean, there are massive oil reserves which you could get at via fracking and horizontal
and in fact, the California, Tim Kustik, who's the oil and gas regulator out there, said there's no evidence of harm from fracking in groundwater in California at this point in time, and it has been going on for many years.
You've done your homework here.
I looked at this. I actually
could not... environmental officials.
I quote 11 environmental regulators and even a study where they talked to 15 states, and not one example of groundwater contamination due to fracking. This was a much better case than I expected. I thought I'd find 2 or 3 or 4 examples. Zero. Absolutely none.
Please, Deroy Murdock, will you keep us informed on this one?
I will do that.
I'm dying to see what New York does on this one.
So am I.
Deroy Murdock, thank you very much indeed,
Thank you, Stuart.